Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE in English with Unacademy. And my name is Vijay Kumar, and I have 5 years of teaching experience for civil services. And I also appeared for this interview twice, and I have given this mains examination more than a couple of times. So every time I have wrote this preliminary examination, I have cracked it with flying colors. So despite of being failure in this examination, I have cracked what is the actual code to crack UPSC. That's the reason why since the last 5 years I have been in this teaching field. Clear? So guiding many aspirants who want to crack this examination. Done. So like this is an NCERT series. Like I have started right away from 6th standard NCERT and I'll finish it off up to 12th. So each and every corner, every portion of your NCERT accordingly to class wise I'll be covering it. Clear? So before we start up with the lecture, let me introduce one of the largest learning platforms of India, that is Unacademy. So with Unacademy, if you travel, you can crack UPSC CSE very easily. It's not only UPSC CSE but also Unacademy has created n number of platforms as such, and it is a platform where you can crack the examinations of more than 30, and UPSC CSE is one of the best categories in it, whereby this particular UPSC CSE category has 100 plus top educators from the country alone. Here, so once if you want to watch the live lectures and the recorded lectures, you have to get the subscription to Unacademy. So how to get the subscription to Unacademy? It's very simple. Like just open Play Store and drop Unacademy Learning app and install the app. Go to home page, and once you go to home page, choose your goal as UPSC CSE, and directly it will take you to the subscription page. There, with paying very nominal amount, you can crack this examination. Clear? So many aspirants would be getting doubt. What are the things they would be getting? First foremost thing is daily live classes, and in this live classes you can chat with your educator, along with you can engage in the discussions along with the friends, ask your doubts. All these things happen while the class is going on. Clear? So by chatting with the educator, you can clarify your doubts, you can ask some questions, you can ask any other doubt which you have related with your preparation. This is first thing. Second is you will get live test series in it, and along with quizzes, so you can evaluate your preparation accordingly. So by attending this live test and quizzes, so that you can maintain consistency of the good performance, or you can improve by accelerating. Third is structured course. Like all the 100 educators, they might be efficient in one or multiple subjects, so they will be coming up with a course page, like a course structure. If I deal polity, I'll make a course structure for you, and by making this course structure, it will be easy for you to attend which class and to skip which of the following classes. Like you might be good at some of the following aspects in the polity, you might be very weak over there, so in this regard you can go with up. Apart from that, you will find unlimited access. It's not like once you take the subscription, once you miss the live lecture, you can't watch the lecture again. It's not in that kind. Like if you miss the live lecture also, you can come and watch recorded lecture for n number of times. This is the best possibility way through which you can revise your things very perfectly. And see, these are some of the top educators out of this 100 plus educators. I think no description is required for these top educators on the platform. Apart from that, Unacademy this year has started exclusive 5 batches for complete preparation of UPSC CSE 2021-2022. In general, 100 plus top educators who are present, they will make some or other how the courses on this platform. Like for example, if I am efficient in geography, like I'll make a course on geography, ecology, environment, disaster management, and some portions of modern India. In this way, I'll be making certain courses, but these batches are exclusively different from this. Clear? So apart from all these 100 educators creating these courses, clear, these batches would be running so that you can plan your preparation. Complete batch wise course would be present. If you see, like this is one particular batch, mission UPSC CSE 2022. It is for those aspirants who are going to give the exam in 2022. So people who are in the last year of graduation or last year of your engineering or third year of your engineering, you can follow this particular batch. Clear? Apart from that, we have another batch for 2021, which is completely Hindi medium batch. Clear? So apart from that, we have a batch, exclusive English medium batch for CSE 2021. All these have already started, like on 27th April. Apart from this, we also have 2021 batch, where people who like the classes to be listened in bilingual, they can follow this particular thing. And this is one special batch for 2021. This batch is for those aspirants who are already working professionals, like in the day section they might go to work and come back in the evenings, and they can enjoy this. And these lectures would be happening late night, clear? That means post 7 or 8 in the evening. Done. You can follow any of these batches, you can follow all the batches, whatever course happens on Unacademy, you can follow this. See, Unacademy has started a UPSC championship. People who are giving examination in 2020, please try to focus upon this. Just you can enroll it by free. In the app, you will find this button. So you can enroll it for free and you can attend the test series. You have 5 tests in this particular series. Like one is 29 March, 12th April, 26th, 10th May and 24th May. Already 4 tests have been done. The 5th test would be on 24th May. You can even attend these tests even. And we also have special classes on the platform which are very much free of cost for you. Just go and watch that lecture so that you will know who are the educators who are teaching on Unacademy. So they will be dealing up with many aspects which are not related, like some people might have a quick discussion on ethics syllabus. So in this way, these special classes are very much free of cost for you. So apart from that, you can see upcoming courses which are happening on the platform so that you can plan your preparation. And this is the subscription page, clear? So this is the amount which you have to pay per month, clear? So if you take subscription per month, like 7,200, if you take subscription for 3 months, you have to pay 18,000. If you take subscription for 6 months, 28,800. If you take subscription for 12 months, it is just 36,000. And if you take it for 24 months, just see 43,200. See, by price would be decreasing as you increase the amount of subscription. Like if you take for 24 months, you end up paying 43,200, and per month if you calculate, it would be just 1,800. It's not like you can pay per month 1,800. It's like you have to pay this, then per month if you calculate, it would be in this way. So my better suggestion is go for 12 month or 24 month. Reason behind it is, like with 1 month, 3 month, like there is nothing which can happen in this fortnight or within this quarter of an year. So better try to take the subscription for 12 months so that you will be benefited and you will be 100% cracking this examination. And while taking the subscription, please follow this particular code called as WICKET10. So this particular code, when you use, you will be getting 10% discount on the platform, clear? So let's start up with the lecture. So people who are live over here, please let me know, people who are live. Is my voice audible? Hello Dominer Rider, hello Sakshi Raj, hello Haribabu, hello Chandu. So if my voice is clear, let me know, like we'll continue up with the discussion. Is everything clear? Chalo. In the 7th NCERT itself, clear? So between 6th to 10th NCERT, it is 7th NCERT which is highly important. So that's why I'm breaking it in parts manner, and I'm discussing this 7th standard for a number of classes, clear? So out of the 7th lecture, this would be the 3rd lecture for you, and this 7th class is highly important. Post 11th, like if you want to understand 11th standard NCERT, then 7th standard would act as a base, clear? So in that 7th lecture, we have discussed in the 7th class NCERT. In the last lecture, we have discussed about different things, like we have spoke about exogenic process, we have spoke about different landforms created by different agents of erosion, clear? So in this lecture, we will be discussing about atmosphere or air, clear? So the chapter name is air or atmosphere. So if you want to read about atmosphere, if you want to understand about the climate, it is this particular atmosphere which you have to understand about, clear? If you see atmosphere composition, so what is atmosphere? The first point comes into picture. It is envelope of gases. Do remember this statement. It is envelope of gases which surround the earth surface under the gravity. A very simple definition. Atmosphere is envelope of gases surrounding the earth surface from all the sides which are held by gravity. And this particular atmosphere which we have, that would be having composition of different things. Like we would be having gases, and we would also have, clear, particulate matter. Do remember this particular statement. So atmosphere is envelope of gases surrounding the earth's surface from all the sides, and which would be having gases along with the particulate matter, whereby we would be this particular atmosphere is held by the gravity. Clear? So gases can be again further divided. We have major gases and we do have minor gases. Done. In this regard, we have particulate matter, like the solid matter which is present in the atmosphere, that would be called as particulate matter. In this way, the solid material which is present in this particular regard, we would be having either the ash or the salt or the smoke which is present and suspended in the atmosphere, that would involve this particulate matter. So let's see what are the gases which are present in the atmosphere. If you see, we have two kinds of gases. As I've said, we have major gases and we have minor gases. So major gases, they include nitrogen and oxygen. Please do remember this. Approximately we can calculate it as 78% nitrogen and 21% of oxygen. So these two gases, they alone contribute for 99% of the total gases which are present in the atmosphere. So if you want to calculate about the rest, if you see the minor gases, they include argon, xenon, neon, hydrogen, helium, krypton and carbon dioxide. So rest of the 1% of the gases which are present, these 1% of the gases, they include argon, xenon, neon, hydrogen, helium. No need to remember about these percentages, just 1 minute. So no need to remember about these percentages, but they might ask you, if possible, there is a possibility by UPSC, like they might ask you in prelims regarding with arrange the following gases present in the atmosphere accordingly from increasing order to decreasing order. They might ask you in this regard. They never ask you what is the percentage which is present in xenon, what is the percentage of neon which is present in the atmosphere. So such kind of questions are not asked. Clear? So hope everyone know about the importance of nitrogen. Can anyone spell it out? What is the importance of nitrogen? Oxygen, everyone would be knowing, like it is a life giver. Without oxygen, we can't burn the fuel. Burning the fuel requires oxygen. This is highly important, notable point. Apart from this, if you calculate nitrogen, we can't stop the fire. So if there is any fire which has broke out, without nitrogen, we can't stop it at all. Nitrogen is colorless, tasteless and odorless. Clear? So if you see nitrogen, oxygen, they are highly important and they focus on maximum percentage. They contribute for 99%, and the rest of the minor gases, they contribute for only 1%. If you see in this particular regard, like argon, xenon, neon, hydrogen, helium, they, despite of being in less percentages, they are also highly important. For example, let me say carbon dioxide. Many people have a negative notion towards this carbon dioxide. Why? I don't know. Because of its less percentage or because of its greenhouse impact. Clear? In general, without carbon dioxide, we can't even imagine what's happening in the atmosphere, and without carbon dioxide we can't even imagine, because carbon dioxide is a life giver for the vegetation, and without vegetation we can't produce oxygen. So these trees, plants and different areas where they intake this vegetation, where they intake this carbon dioxide, these particular vegetation tends to release the oxygen in the atmosphere. Done. So with that oxygen itself, we would be having the life existence on the earth's surface. So that's the reason why it is highly important. Carbon dioxide, if you see, many people think that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, then it is a negative gas, but it's not true. Carbon dioxide, they will be acting as a blanket. Carbon dioxide along with water vapor and along with some other greenhouse gases, what they would be doing is, when the earth would be radiating the heat back, like from when the insolation would be falling onto the earth's surface, generally the earth tends to radiate the heat back. So while radiating the heat back into the space, it is carbon dioxide, it is water vapor, it is greenhouse gases which will trap bit amount of percentage from the radiated heat, and again they re-radiate back to that surface, keeping the nights warmer. Otherwise what would have happened is, in the morning section we might have experienced huge amount of heat, and in the nights we might have experienced the complete drop down of heats. Clear? So that's why greenhouse gases in an efficient level with their exact percentage, it is very important. But what we are doing in the present context is, by burning the fossil fuels, we are increasing the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Hence that is in return making the increase of percentage of radiated heat. Clear? So when the radiated heat would be trapped in more manner, then obviously the temperatures would be increased. Clear? So in this particular regard, we would be discussing about these things. So each and every gas would be playing its crucial role. Without any gas in the atmosphere, like the life existence might have not been possible in this sustained way. There might have been some other disturbance which might have been created. Is this clear for everyone? Yes, Sridevi. Sixth, Sridevi Venkata, sixth is completed. Once go and check out the playlist on Let's Crack UPSC CSE English channel. Please do subscribe to that. Is my voice clear for everyone? And if you see related with particulate matter, as I have said, the suspended solid particles in the atmosphere, that would be considered as particulate matter. Like if you see the smoke, if you see the salt particles, if you see the ash content which is present, clear, that includes in this particulate matter. And what is the role of particulate matter in the atmosphere is, they will scatter the insolation, they will scatter the light. Hence when they scatter the light during the day section and evenings in general, whenever during the sunrise and sunset, we would be experiencing a reddish orange color in the sky during the scattering of light. So these particulate matter helps in different color observations in the atmosphere. Along with that, just because of presence of this particulate matter, we could have made the condensation possible. So entire the concept of rainfall is around the formation of cloud itself. So these particulate matter which are suspended in the atmosphere, they make the water vapor to stick around it, and hence we would be experiencing cloud formation, and that in return they experience rainfall. So the rainfall which is experienced, that is completely associated with cloud cover, and that cloud is associated with this particulate matter. Clear? So shall we move further? Chalo. Is this clear for everyone? So if you see, the next thing which we have to calculate is structure of atmosphere. So whenever we see the atmosphere, it extends for some thousands of kilometers, but the thing is, there are certain layers which are highly important for us and which are associated with the human mankind. Clear? So if you see the lowest layer which we have, that is troposphere, and the next layer which we have, that is stratosphere, and the third layer is mesosphere, and the last layer it is considered as thermosphere, but in many of the books it has been written as ionosphere itself. Clear? So you can think it as thermosphere, or you can say it as ionosphere as well. No issues with it. Clear? So if you see the lower layer which we have, that is troposphere. So we will try to discuss this particular thing, each layer separately. So right away from the Earth's surface until certain height in the atmosphere, it is considered as troposphere. And the height of the troposphere varies from different aspects. Like height of the troposphere might be different at equator, height of the troposphere might be different at the poles. It means the height of the troposphere is 8 kilometers at the poles, and it is 18 kilometers near the equator. It means the height of the troposphere is maximum near the equator. Moving towards the polar regions, the height of the troposphere decreases. And the next important thing related with troposphere is all the weather phenomena which happens, let it be wind, let it be air pressure creation, let it be cloud formation, or let it be precipitation, that happens in the troposphere itself. Every weather phenomena happens in troposphere. Please do remember this point. This is one particular second point which you have to remember. And in troposphere we would be having decreasing temperature. So the temperature generally tends to decrease with increasing height. Do remember this point. Generally, when we move altitude wise, we would be having reduction of temperature. So because of decrease in sorry, because of increase in height, we would be having decrease in temperature. Please do remember this particular point. Hence, why we would be having decrease of temperature is, as the air density reduces, there would be no air to trap the heat. Hence we would be having decreasing of temperature. Hence in that particular regard, whenever we calculate, this particular decrease in temperature also happens at certain rate. That is, it happens at 6.5 degrees centigrade for every 1000 meters. So temperature decreases at 6.5 degrees centigrade for every 1000 meters. Do remember this particular point. And if you calculate and if you see in another regard, this particular decrease in temperature is only reducing in the troposphere. While you compare with the rest of the layers, like if you take stratosphere, if you take mesosphere, if you take thermosphere, there is nothing like normal lapse rate. So normal lapse rate is very unique towards this troposphere itself. This is the third point which you have to remember. And fourth point which you have to remember is, between the transition of troposphere to stratosphere, we would be having a transition layer, and that particular transitional layer which is present between troposphere and stratosphere, it is considered as tropopause. Got this point? When we have the transition from troposphere to strato, the layer where we have transition, it is called as tropopause. Hence we can consider that the topmost layer of the troposphere is or can be called as tropopause directly. Please do remember this point. And now I'll be posting a question. Please try to answer this particular question. So the temperature at tropopause is very lowest at equator, tropics and polar regions. Please do answer this question. The temperature at tropopause is lowest at equator, tropics and poles. Please once think and give the answer. See, the temperature at tropopause is very lowest near the equator. Do you have any doubts related with it? If you have any doubts, please let me know. Clear? So these are the 4 points which you have to remember with. And the next layer after the transition layer of the tropopause, what is tropopause actually? The transition layer which is present somewhere around 1.5 kilometer to 2 kilometer, that layer would be called as transition zone, and those transition zone which is present near the troposphere, topmost layer of the troposphere, that would be called as tropopause. Got this point, everyone? And if you consider and see, when we enter into stratosphere, it is temperature doesn't decrease with altitude, rather temperature starts increasing with altitude. The reason behind it is, in the stratosphere we would be having presence of ozone layer. So ozone is a certain typical type of gas with a triatom form of oxygen. It means oxygen, when it combined with free oxygen, then we would be having development of ozone. And do remember this point, ozone is not only present in stratosphere, rather it is present in troposphere and from the troposphere as well. So just because of presence of this ozone layer, what happens is, this particular typical gas of ozone, it traps the UV rays which are coming through insolation. And when it traps this particular region, just which is present between 30 to 50 kilometer, or 30 to 40 kilometer range. At this zone we have maximum denseness of ozone, and this region would be warmer when compared to the rest of the regions. Hence, because of the presence of ozone layer and the heat which is trapped by this particular ozone layer, we would be experiencing maximum warmness. Got this point? Apart from this, like whenever we see in this stratosphere, generally we have a typical confusion. Do the flights fly in stratosphere or troposphere? They can fly in tropo, they can fly in strato, but generally jet planes which would fly, they would choose the stratosphere to escape from the radar, and also the air column which is present in the stratosphere, that is absent over there. That's the reason why generally jet planes would tend to move in the stratosphere. It's not like they can't fly in troposphere. Clear? So anywhere from this section towards the stratosphere, we can have the movement of planes. And while moving further, the topmost layer of the stratosphere is up to 50 kilometer range, and the transition layer from stratosphere to mesosphere, if you see, that would be called as stratopause. The transition layer between strato and meso, that is called as stratopause. Do remember this point. And this particular stratopause which is present there also, anywhere if you see this particular statement, tropopause, stratopause or mesopause, their temperature becomes constant. Temperature neither increases nor decreases. And apart from this, when we see from this stratosphere or stratopause, the topmost layer of the stratosphere, temperature continuously tend to decrease at very rapid rate, and temperature tends to decrease at higher rate, and reaching the topmost layer of the mesosphere, that is at the zone of 80 kilometer, we would be having temperature somewhere around minus 100 degrees centigrade. Do remember this point? Clear? So the temperature would be reaching minus 100 degrees centigrade when we reach to the topmost layer of the mesosphere. Why temperature is decreasing at its rapid rate is, here we don't find greenhouse gases, so that at least they could trap the radiated heat from that surface, or at least they doesn't have the presence of ozone so that they can trap the insolation. So because of absence of greenhouse gases, because of absence of ozone, there is no element in that zone which can trap the temperature. Hence, reaching this layer, we would be finding continuously decline of temperature. Got this point? And how this mesosphere is useful for us? As it is the coldest layer of the atmosphere, it doesn't allow meteors to reach their surface. This particular mesosphere, because of having minus 100 degree extremity, they will burn these meteors away in this particular zone, and we would be having noctilucent ashes over here. And when we have noctilucent ashes, and because of maximum reduction of temperature, moisture would be available, and hence we would be finding noctilucent clouds here. So we can have the visibility of clouds, but we can't see directly. Those clouds which are present at somewhere around 70 to 80 kilometer range, they are called as noctilucent clouds. Got this point? Clear? And the next layer which we have, that is ionosphere, and the zone between ionosphere and mesosphere is considered as mesopause. Do remember this. And in this ionosphere, the temperature starts continuously increasing. We will not have any decrease or any kind of fluctuations from here. Continuously the temperature starts increasing from this particular zone. That's the reason why the gases which are present in this zone, the limited amount of gases which are present here, they, because of the scattering, they, because of the trapping of insulation, they have converted themselves as ions. So this particular ionosphere is the zone of ions. Hence, that's the reason why, because of presence of these ions, which become charged particles, which are charged particles, these particular ions, they will be helping us in radio communication waves. Got this point, everyone? Clear? Everyone clear with this? So like in atmosphere, when we read, we would be reading the chapter called as temperature. If you see, generally I'll say one reason as of now. Do remember two keywords: insolation and terrestrial radiation. Terrestrial radiation. Please try to remember this particular 2 points. What actually happens, I'll let you know. Clear? So generally, what is temperature? The temperature you feel every day is nothing but the temperature of atmosphere, and we can define it as the degree of hotness or coldness of air which is present in the temperature, which is known as temperature, right? So in the atmosphere, either we may have hotness or either we may have coldness. That is what's so called as temperature. Clear? So temperature changes from day to day, day and night, month to month, season to season. Like if you see, summers are hotter, winters are cooler. So in this regard, temperature changes every day, temperature changes every day and night, temperature changes from season to season. Clear? So what is the important factor which defines the temperature? The important factor which defines the temperature is insolation. Here I am repeating my statement. Please do remember this. The important factor that influences temperature is insolation, but insolation is not the reason for temperature. Have you understood this point? See, important factor influencing the temperature is insolation, but insolation is not the reason for the temperature of the atmosphere. It is terrestrial radiation which would be the reason for the atmospheric temperature. Earth is heated from below rather than from top. This is the most important point which you have to remember. Earth is not heated, like the atmosphere doesn't have the temperature. Atmosphere is not heated from the insolation. Rather, atmosphere acts as transparent to this insolation, but atmosphere will trap the heat from the terrestrial radiation which would happen from the earth's surface. Please do remember this particular point, and more regarding with temperature we will be reading it in 11th NCERT. I'm sticking just to 7th NCERT itself. That's why I'm not going beyond that. What are the factors of insolation? What are the factors of temperature? That we will be discussing later on. Do remember these keywords. Insolation influences the temperature. Like for example, simply if I say insolation reduces when we move from equator to poles, it means insolation is maximum at the equator, and moving to the poles, insolation decreases. So equator or tropical region, because of maximum insolation, will experience maximum temperature, and poles experiencing minimum insolation, they experience minimum temperatures. Please do remember this. Clear? So apart from this, like if you see the further concept of air pressure, see, atmosphere has some mass and weight. Because of the gases which are present in the atmosphere, we would be having some mass and weight. That is common. That is very, very common. Clear? So because the atmosphere has some mass and weight, it will act certain pressure onto the earth's surface. Atmosphere from the top, it will be creating weight onto the earth's surface, creating maximum pressures on the earth's surface itself. Generally, we calculate the atmospheric pressures by using the mean sea levels, because atmospheric pressure might be differently acting on mountain, differently acting on a plateau, differently acting on a plain, differently acting in a valley, differently acting on the coastal region where lowland topographies are present. So hence we calculate the atmospheric pressure or the air pressure by using the mean sea levels. So it is at the sea level where we would be experiencing highest pressure on the earth's surface. It is 1013.25 millibar. The average sea level pressure which includes that would be somewhere around 1013.25 millibars. Please do remember this certain thing. So it is vertical atmospheric pressure which is acting. We go beyond this in the further lectures, but here just remember these keywords. Like apart from this, if you want to see about horizontal distribution of pressure, we have to read about pressure belts. It is very simple. The horizontal distribution of pressure would be having a direct connection with the temperature. I am saying it very simple. See, in the areas where we have high temperature, the air in that region heats well, and it tends to rise upwards. It creates low pressure conditions, and because of this heated air reaching upwards, we would be experiencing low pressure over there, and low pressure experienced regions would be experiencing cloudy skies and hot weather conditions. So hence in those regions we would be experiencing heavy rainfall. For example, equatorial region, maximum temperature, air tends to lift upwards, create cloud formation, create precipitation. In this regard, equator alone will experience huge amount of rainfalls around the equator. So moving further, if you see, it is very simple. Equator experiencing maximum temperature, it tends to rise upwards, it tends to descend. Clear? So when it is rising upwards, it creates cloud formation and hence precipitation. So maximum temperature has resulted into low pressure condition. And here, because of descending air column, because of the air pressure acting from the top, we are experiencing high pressure. And again, when high pressure would be experienced in this particular zone, we will be moving further. Like whenever the air column reaches the ground surface, again the air deflects in horizontal way, which we generally call it as wind system. If you could see, winds are moving from high pressure to low pressure area. Are you observing this? So this we generally call it as westerlies, this we generally call it as trade winds. So in this way, wherever we would be having high pressures, in those regions we would be experiencing the movement or origin of wind systems. So in this regard, wherever we have low pressures, either we will be having horizontal distribution of pressure whenever we want to read. It is in this regard which we have to read high pressure, low pressure, high pressure, low pressure. So equatorial low pressure belt, subtropical high pressure belt, subpolar low pressure belt, polar high pressure belt. You can see equatorial region maximum temperature, low pressure, polar region minimum temperature, high pressure. There the air column which is present, that is cooler and that is more denser and that has created high pressure conditions. Is this clear for everyone? So in the areas having lower temperature, the air is cold obviously, it is therefore heavy. Heavy air obviously sinks and create a high pressure area. So maximum temperature, low pressure, minimum temperature, high pressure. So low pressure regions would be having good amount of cloud formation and precipitation. But high pressures wherever we find, there we won't experience any kind of cloud and we can't experience any rainfall. So wherever we could see high pressures, in those regions because of lack of precipitation, we would be having formation of deserts. That's the reason why world's hot and dry deserts, they are located near to the subtropical location on the subtropical high pressure belt. You can take the example of Atacama Desert, Namib Desert, Kalahari Desert, Great Sandy Deserts, or Arabian Deserts, or Saharan Deserts, or Sonoran Mojave Deserts. So all these are present on subtropics. The reason behind it is high pressure condition, no cloud formation, no precipitation. Got this point, everyone? So if you see, winds are nothing but here whatever you are seeing, originating from high pressure to low pressure, the horizontal movement of air. The horizontal movement of air is called as wind, and this horizontal movement of air generally moves from high pressure area to that of low pressure area. So horizontal movement of air is called as wind, and in this particular wind system, we would be having three certain winds. If you calculate the types of winds, one is permanent or planetary, one is secondary or seasonal, and one is local wind. These permanent or planetary winds are those winds which move on the Earth's surface throughout the year irrespective of the season. Hence they are called as planetary winds. Secondary or seasonal winds, they come along with the season, they move along with the season. Like you can take monsoon as example, you can take land breeze and sea breeze as example, and you can take mountain breeze and valley breeze as example. Clear? So these come along with the periods and move along with the periods. And the third section which we have, that is local winds. They have the local characteristics, and these local winds generally originate within one span of an year during one particular season because of the heat, temperature and the pressure conditions which are present in that region. And the local winds, the best example is Lu. All around the globe we have some hundreds of such kind of local winds, but 20 local winds are very important for us, I'll be sharing you later during the 11th and 12th NCERT. After this basic knowledge, we'll be going deeper what actually is a planetary wind. So if you could see on the Earth's surface, these all are planetary winds. Like because of the descending air column near the subtropical location, we have origin of wind from high pressure to low pressure. We have origin of wind from high pressure to low pressure. Here also we have origin of wind from high pressure to low pressure. So in this regard, these advections which are present, they generally move from high pressure to low pressure. All the winds which you can see here at this zone, they are nothing but planetary winds. So between the tropics, they are called as trade winds, and between tropics and subpolars, they are called as westerlies, and between subpolars and polars, we call them as easterlies. Do remember this certain point. If you want, you can observe this. See, those winds which are present here, they are trade winds. Here they are called as prevailing winds. Here they are called as polar winds. Here also westerlies, and here also polar winds. Then we'll go deeper during the 11th standards. No need to worry regarding with that. But until then, you have to at least understand, yes, these are the wind systems which are present. Is this clear? Any doubts in this? If you have any doubts, please you can drop in the comment section. So hence, thank you for watching this lesson, and please do subscribe to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English channel, and please click on the bell icon for the continuous notifications on the platform, and please try to subscribe to Unacademy channel today itself so that you can get 10% discount on the platform when you use my code called as VK10. It is very simple to remember. Try to remember this particular code called as VK10 before you get the subscription of Unacademy. And please give a like symbol so that it would be motivating me for the upcoming lectures. And also please do share the video on your social platform so that it can reach as much as it can. Thank you for watching this. I think no doubts. Clear. Sridevi Venkata, like Lu is one such kind of a local wind which originates from Rajasthan during the summer season. So that generally tends to move towards the Indo-Gangetic plain. When this particular move tends to move towards the Indo-Gangetic plain, there would be sudden increase in temperatures of Indo-Gangetic plains. Like somewhere around, temperature increases by 2 to 3 centigrade on an average because of movement of this particular loop. So these local winds, they have the characteristics of movement in this particular regard. So they may change the temperature of the local regions in different perspectives. Got this point? So Lu is a local wind which has the scenario which starts from Rajasthan, which increases the temperature in Indo-Gangetic plain. Is this clear? Chalo, thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Jai Hind. Yes, Bhushan, you can find, just you can type Vijay or Let's Crack UPSC. You can go to that particular channel. You can see all the playlist over there.